Hello friends, welcome. Today I want to make a video about, new souls, old souls and group souls. This involves reincarnation in old and group souls. Now, there are many theories or hypotheses on what these things are, and, who can really tell? Well, there are people that have past life experiences, so they say, and, maybe that is a past life experience, maybe there's something else. So we'll go into that during this video and see what it is. Now, I myself have had evidence from God that I am an old soul, a group soul, that I have had 5 past lives, that I've been an African, that I've been a soldier, that I was Mark, a disciple of Christ, and 2 other lives I don't know about. So, and this present life. So, people think, oh, I go into spirit and I reincarnate. Well, it doesn't happen like that. You have to become a very evolved spirit in the spirit realms, which there's 12 planes of spirit in all, which 10 man can achieve so far. This is the first plane, the earth plane, so you'd probably have to be to plane 4 or 5 before you could even reincarnate, and the majority are not evolving at the present time. It's the few that do. So here upon the earth today, there's not that many reincarnated beings, percentage-wise, very small number. So yes, so so most people can't just reincarnate when they think they want to. You have to be an evolved soul to reincarnate. The person here on the earth plane, Father God picks very carefully that they will be appropriate and be happy to have a past life in them when they get back in the spirit realm, because they'll be told about that and they can go to the hall of learning before God's presence and be reawoken to that past life. What if he put it into somebody that didn't ever want to be awoken to that past life? It's gone forever. So he does pick very carefully the people that will have reincarnated souls within them. So he picks the appropriate person. Now, when people reincarnate, they ask for certain experiences and so on and so forth, but they cannot have any influence as that past life on the present life. So Father God merely picks the appropriate life down here that's suitable for that reincarnated being, suitable for that person here also to have that reincarnated being, and that person by natural events always would have and always will have those same experiences, exactly the same. There will be no influence from past life whatsoever on their lives, so they're just by natural means have all the experiences that past life asked for. That's why they were put into that person, more or less. So, yes, reincarnating beings sometimes do ask for lives of hardship down here because it adds strength and, courage and different things to themselves to deal with suffering and to overcome it and so on and so forth. Many different reasons they reincarnate for. Some of them, don't want lives of hardship. They want other things, different things. So past life regression is absolute rubbish. Because everybody that goes for it comes out with a past life, and it's not true. There's very few on this plane that are reincarnated, and the only one that really holds the key to your past life is Father God. He's the only one that could really give you experience of that, and he has myself 3 times done that, as it happens. So yeah, so the past life has no bearing on the present life whatsoever. It has no bearing. It's dormant and asleep inside you if you've got a reincarnated being. Unless you're in the service of God like I am, it has no bearing, but it's still not really got much bearing on me at the moment, because what happens is, that's dormant and asleep within you. You're suffering what they call past life amnesia. You have no effects from past life affecting your present life. And you are not the spirit and soul. It's part of you, that past life, because it's reincarnated and blended with your spirit and soul, but completely dormant, that each time a reincarnating being returns to this life into a new person down here, that new person has their spirit and soul. So the past life has their spirit and soul still reincarnated within this physical form, but you get a new spirit and soul of your own each time you're here to live that singular existence as that new spirit and soul and gain from this personal lifetime. So you have your own identity, your own spirit and soul, not your past lives. So you could say group soul, but that group soul is not united within you. It's part of, it fills you completely, but it's totally inactive. So every time you reincarnate, new spirit and soul you get. So you're here to live this life. We should not worry about our past lives, or what we have been in the past, because we're here to concentrate on this life. And if you're forever thinking about the past, you're not getting on with this life. So it is important to know you're here for whatever experiences you're here. If you do believe you're reincarnated, that's fine, but you're still here to live these experiences and not be worrying about the past. And when you get back into spirit, you'll find if you do have a reincarnated soul within you or not. But mostly it's not possible to be awoken to that in this lifetime unless you are with the light, unless you can go before God and know the correct prayers to be reawoken to your past life, which very few do. So really it has no bearing on this life, does it? I mean, it's dormant inside us. We don't need to be concerned about what we've been in the past. We're here to be concerned about what we are in the present. So it's a waste of time trying to research your past life, because chances are you will not find anything. And you go for past life hypnotism, it's put into your mind because the people that go for it already believe they've had a past life. So your subconscious just conjures something up that you might have been. Now, there are people down here saying, I've had vivid experiences of when I was a princess in Egypt, and I've described, and they have accurately described what that palace was like, what the interior was like, what the culture was like, everything, as though they were having a memory of the past life. And that was not that person, almost certainly. And I'm not saying some can't have past life experience. It might be possible, but in a majority of cases, that's a spirit, the princess, in spirit, coming to her and showing that medium, that person, what her life was like, not what her life was like, what her life was like. And they're getting confused and saying, this was my past life. And it wasn't. It was this spirit's past life that's given them visions of what it was all like, descriptions of what it was all like. And that's so quite often it's a spirit guide we got. And we have a vision of being a Native American Indian running through the woods chasing buffalo, and all of a sudden we think it's us, our past life, when really it's a spirit's past life that they're sharing with us. So there is confusion there, but maybe it is possible for the odd person to have a past life experiences. I don't know, but most of the ones that I've come across are either just the subconscious creating it, like in past life regression, or maybe, most probably, spirit putting it in their mind and showing them what their past life was like and not what that person's was. So, I have come across a few different people that, I thought, well, I think they probably haven't had a past life. It was most likely a spirit. But, people are free to believe in these things. They're free to believe what they wish about themselves. And, there are reincarnated beings here. They are few, really, in the Earth's percentage, because it takes quite a lot to be worthy, because they've got to become very good people in spirit and be nothing but beneficial. You can't have an evil person reincarnate into your body. Only good people can do that. They have got to be worthy. They've got to work off their karma. They've got to be appropriate level of evolution before Father God will let them come back, because he'll never send somebody bad into you, and he'll carefully match you up with your past life so that you're a benefit to each other. And he will put that into you, that past life, because they're appropriate and worthy and nothing but beneficial to have. So you have nothing to fear about past lives. You're not going to get anybody evil in you, because even if they had done an evil thing in their life, they'd have well worked it off and become very good. So you don't need to worry about such things. And you need to concentrate on the present life and what you're here to do today and experience here on this life. And don't worry about your past. That's just good advice. Now, there are different theories about reincarnation. Now, I know for a fact that if my past life in the spirit realm, which was 5 people as one man, wants to reincarnate, he can only reincarnate as a man. He can only reincarnate back on the earth plane. He can't go to other worlds. He cannot go to other planes of existence, because he can only go to the planes in our spirit realm that he's worthy of going, which others can do without reincarnating as well. Now, there are great benefits of reincarnation. So there are those that believe we're in many facets, on many worlds, on many different planes of spiritual existence, all at the same time. But my past life in the spirit realm and everybody else's is one person. Even if they've had 3 or 4 lives, 5 lives, 6 lives, 7, 10 lives, they are in the spirit realm as one person. They decide to reincarnate, ask God for that, and they come entire in their wholeness, not in loads of different facets, different places, as one person in this new life and go to sleep, put dormant. So they reside in this life, trusting this new spirit and soul to live this life as best they can. And when they go back into spirit realm, they get told they have a reincarnated soul, which they'd be a person that was open to it. And then they go to the Hall of Learning, they're awoken, they become 6 lives in one person. So you're always entire, your spirit is always in one place. And that is, my past is in me and my present is in me. So that's the way it works. You can't reincarnate in lots of different places. You can't be opposite genders, because you could understand that if a woman was trapped in a man's body, it would be horrendous in the spirit realm when they got reawoken, or the opposite way round. So you're always the same gender. You don't get, and some people think, well, my daughter, I lost a baby and my daughter's going to have my baby. That spirit's going to reincarnate back into my baby. The chances of that spirit being able to reincarnate in that amount of time, almost impossible. The implications and many different things that would be inappropriate for that to happen. So it doesn't happen. Hardly. I shouldn't think it's ever happened, but it's not impossible. Nothing's impossible, maybe, but it's very unlikely to happen in that way, that you could lose a baby as a mother and your child has that baby, that spirit, and it's impractical. It doesn't seem right to me that happens. It could cause mass confusion later on. And, that spirit would not be evolved enough by the time that happened, because it would take a couple of 100 years at least of a person that was able to evolve to get to that level where they could do, probably. Now, there are spirits. It is a great asset to have more than one life down here. You're looking really to highly benefit at least 2 reincarnations, so 3 people as in the spirit realm. So you could be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and more in the spirit realm, souls reunited as one person in the spirit realm. But each time you reincarnate, the first time you have 2 lives. You have the first life you've had and this new life here. You go in spirit, you become one life, and that you double everything. You double your intelligence practically, you double your spiritual power, you double everything. It's immense. And this is a great benefit. It helps you evolve because you've got more intelligence, double the intelligence almost double everything the first time you have a reincarnation, because you 2 people into one. But then it becomes a third, and then a 4th, and then a 5th, and then a 6th as much. So, but you could do more evolution probably after 6 to 10 lives in the spirit realm than you could do by having another life, because it keeps decreasing the benefit from it each new life. So it's not worth it. It's absolutely not worth having more than 10 reincarnations. 9 reincarnations, and you'd be 10 people, because beyond that, the gain is so little, because it decreases each time, that it's not worth doing. You could do more evolution and learn more in the spirit realm by staying there. And, so my past life wife, Su Ling, I do not believe she's going to reincarnate, because my past life was called Mark. He's come within this life, he's dormant, and his wife come as my spirit guide and my soulmate too. And she loves me because I'm the new life that's going to be awoken within my past life one day, and he to me. So she's come to be my spirit guide, but she come as a soulmate to me, and she loves me to bits, and I love her to bits. But she's had 4 lives, and I don't believe she wants to return here again. No need to. She's on plane 10, the highest plane humans have achieved. And my past life had 5 lives. He was on the highest plane humans achieved. I don't think he intended to come back here again either. Only Father God gave him an opportunity to come back here and be of service. So he made the decision. He wanted to help his fellow brothers and sisters. So he's come back within this life. This life God chose to be a benefit to my past life and part of the service he wanted this life to do, and my past life upon the earth to help mankind. So, it's great. But I don't think my past life would come back. He'd had 5 lives, that was plenty, and very intelligent. You get, every time you get a new spirit, that is energy and power. And, you combine those spirits, you're much more energetic, much more energy of spirit, and I've had a past life experience of the energy, and I felt phenomenal. I had all 6 of my spirit energies combined as one God gave me, and I felt super confident and absolutely supreme, immense and confidence. And, that's something I'm not, because I'm quite an introvert, but I felt absolutely amazing. And, you thought, well, I'd have to run a 24-mile marathon just to be tired enough to go to sleep feeling like this, because you're just so full of energy. So each new spirit increases your energy. Each new spirit increases your intelligence. Each new life increases all these things. So, but it lessens with each new life. But Father God chose me a good life down here. I had a lot of suffering and stuff, but it adds to the whole. I've had a different and unique experience to the rest of my lives, and it will add to my whole, yes. But there are those that keep reincarnating many, many times, but it really doesn't serve much purpose, but they just enjoy it, so they can do it as much as they like. I mean, they spend a short time in the spirit realm and then they come back again. But, practically, between 4 to 10 times. Any more than that's not worth it. So there's people down here go, oh, we've probably been here thousands of times before, but that's not true. Almost certainly not true in most cases, because there's more you can gain by staying in the spirit realm after a few times. Anyway, so we never reincarnate in several different places at the same time. We're always in the one place, and that's the way it is. So, that's old souls could be in the spirit realm. They've had one life and they're on plane 10. And my karma, Eric, who is a kind of sort of policeman, ethical, moral policeman as well, he's 500 years old on plane 10, which is quite an achievement in 500 years to get to plane 10. And, he's head of the karma, and a very responsible person, very lovely person. And he's done it on his own. He's never reincarnated, and he was a Christian monk. So he still embraces his Christianity in the spirit realm, and he's great. So you can do it without reincarnating, but it is a great advantage. It does give you more spiritual power and energy and such like. So it can be highly beneficial to do that. But we shouldn't worry about past lives. If they're there, they're there, but they have no bearing on this life. Not very often. I'm in the service of God, so mine does a bit, because I'm due to be awoken down here to give teachings later on. So my past life needs to be awoken within me to do those teachings, because I'm not appropriate, but I'm still doing my part, because I'm struggling to get us justice from the spirit realm, and, to make an awakening safe down here. And it will be, hopefully. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, that's just a bit of insight into that. I hope you understand. Love and light to you, Neil.